Okay, everybody, welcome to the homework packet 101. This is the cover. It'll tell you what semester we're on. So you're going to get one of these for each semester. When you open it up, this first page is your lifeline. This is what you need when you are using the homework tools in the next pages. This first page and the second page both have the same dates. The difference is that the first page words are the required first grade sight words. These are the words that we are teaching as a first grade to hit the first grade TEKS. These sight words on the back, these harder sight words, are for if your child has already mastered the sight words on the front. So let's take a look. This is our example page. This is going to show you what you are working on. When we say word study, we're talking about two different things. If you see here, the word study portion here, row 1, that is where you're using the sight words from the week on this page, or the front page, if that's where your kid is. Here, where it says the phonics rules, that is where you are using the rules outlined right here. This is the phonics sight words. Okay, an important thing to mention is that here, it says complete at least one activity from each row. So you do not have to do all 3 of these or all 3 of these. You can pick one from here, one from here. The reading passage is going to be here. You can record the answers to the reading passage here. And the reading passage also goes towards your minutes here. So this counts as reading as well. This over here in math is going to pretty much be self-explanatory. It's going to tell you what to do. And this is just a record, a reading record. That's all it is. On the back here, you will see a place for them to record their thinking. Now here in word study, you can see this is an example of a bubble map. So when they're saying bubble map, this is what they're talking about. Over here, you can see the sight word sentences. Over here is a way to show the math when we're talking about showing the math. And here when they say, notice the pattern, what you're looking for is that all of these end with a 0 and all of those things. Over here, this is going to be the monster reading passage and the questions. So everything you do here is just basically copied here. It is not an additional thing. It is not any different. It's the same thing, just copied over. Here you can see there's no question 4, so there's no answer 4. Okay, all right, so when you get started, you're going to look at the top for the week. If your child does not have this first week done, correspond with the week that we are on. You could always go back and do this for review because it's going to be what they have already known, but by the time you get the book, we will be here. So you're going to start here, which would go to the resources, here. So you're going to find the corresponding week, and that is what you are using. I also wanted to point out that the resources in our daily folder, so the things that we are sent home every day, are there's also a ton of things in there. So 1 minute, let me grab it. So this is the daily folder sheet. Of course, you have the behavior thing. The behavior codes are on the bottom. So when your child gets a number, reference this to see what they were doing and then ask them what they did to deserve the number and what they're going to do better tomorrow to make sure that the number doesn't happen again. But behind all of the months are some really awesome tools. So there's going to be this blue divider. After this, here again is your phonics and sight word list. This is your lifeline for everything. So if you're doing things during the weekend or you are working on additional things aside from the homework book, here we go again. So if you don't have your homework book or you turned it in on Friday, this is always in the folder. Okay. Over here is some important information about reading. Over here is an alphabet chart. Over here are some questions. We talked about comprehension a lot. This would be some really good things to start off with. Of course, don't go through every question with every book. Maybe pick 1 or 2. Do what you think your child needs using the text that they have at their level. Over here is an alphabet chart. This is really, really awesome when we're talking about sounding out and using those vowel sounds. Have them use their alphabet chart. We also talked about handwriting, cleaning that up. Another thing over here is some tricky vowels. We will get into this later, but when you are looking at the phonics rules described in that Lifeline page and you're not sure what we're talking about, or it's hard for you to come up with an example, come back here and you'll be able to see some, and it'll kind of get you thinking about, oh, they mean this, and day, so hey, and say. It'll kind of help you. Blends, again, another phonics skill, so please reference that Lifeline sheet, and then if you get stuck or you're not sure, take a look here. We have the digraphs. In kindergarten, we covered CH, SH, TH, WH, so the PH, CK, NG, QU are all new. So that is going to be something that they are new to, so it might be nice for you to have this as a reference, and what they are called. They are called digraphs, and we use that word explicitly with them so they know exactly what we're asking for and what we're looking for. When it comes to math, this is your math lifeline. The 120 chart is a resource that they will use when they're working in the classroom, when they're working at stations, when they're doing anything. An important thing with the 120 chart and the thing that we're trying to teach is that they notice patterns. So one of our teaks is that they can count by 10 from any number. So from 34, what's 10 more? 44, then 54, 64, 74, 84. This might be a good thing to use just as extra, or when you're doing the math work, when we're talking about patterns, this is what they're talking about. Everything in this column ends in 4, because we're counting, from 34, 44, 54, 64. This is something that is all over our classroom. They have some at their personal size. We have big giant games with this. We have magnetic things. So this is used all year. They will become more familiar. But when you're doing homework, if they get stuck and they don't know what you're talking about with patterns, put this next to them. They are allowed to use the resource. It's not like we're trying to test them. We're trying to coach them on how to use a resource to get the information that they need. So this is an awesome thing as well. On the back here is just some information about snack. Remember, our snack is a working snack, so try to stay away from things that need spoons, things that can spill, things that are going to make hands really, really dirty. I hope this information helps. Like I said, this daily communication log in the daily folder has awesome things. You should probably have these out when we start working on the homework. It'll help them. These are all tools they'll become very familiar with, so it won't be new when they see them. If you say get out your 120 chart, teach them how to flip to the back and how to find what they need. And then again, we talked a lot about comprehension. These questions are really, really good. Get yourself familiar with them, and then as we meet individually for conferences, we can go over more specifically the level of questioning needed for your child's reading level. Please let me know if you need any help or if there's any confusion, but I'm hoping that this makes things clear. And as we go through the year, if you get stuck or you kind of forget, you can always reference the video, or of course email me, but first reference the video and see if there is some clarification that has been explained. Use the example sheet, but just know that the recording sheet is a way for them to show their thinking, so it does not need to be perfect. It should not look like the teachers. It should be homework. It should be work. It should be what they're showing that they know. Please let me know if you need anything, and I hope this helps. Thanks.